The air in Lagos was thick with ambition. Cars blared their horns like impatient dreams, and every street corner buzzed with someone selling something airtime. Gala, blessings, lies. Amid the chaos, Linda walked with the grace of a queen who belonged to none of it. Her chin was high, her heels clicking like a drumbeat of confidence. She was 27, and the city had wrapped itself around her like a tailored dress. She had earned a name in the modeling world, especially among mid-range fashion brands. Not yet a household name, but close enough to be called that fine girl on the Glow Flexi Data poster. Men loved her, women respected her or envied her, depending on the day. She had moved from sharing a one-room apartment with two cousins in Ikorodu to renting her own studio flat in Surulere. She had just signed a deal with a local beauty brand to be the face of their new skin line. Life was clicking into place, piece by glittering piece. But Linda had been feeling off lately. At first, she blamed it on stress. The endless late-night photo shoots. The parties she was expected to attend to keep her visibility up. The early calls from her agent barking about new gigs. Then the weight loss began. A little at first, enough to excite her. Models lived on hunger and compliments. But then came the night sweats, the dry coughs, and the constant fatigue that clung to her body like an unwanted second skin. Her friend Cynthia noticed first. "Babes, are you okay?" she asked one evening at a lounge in Lekki. "You look different. Slimmer." Linda forced a smile. "Ah, stress, Jer. This Lagos doesn't sleep." Cynthia nodded, but concern lingered in her eyes. A few days later, while posing for a rooftop shoot on Victoria Island, Linda almost fainted. She held onto the railing just in time, her vision blurry, her lips dry. "Are you fasting?" the photographer asked, half joking. "No, just didn't eat this morning," she muttered, even though she hadn't eaten anything solid in over 24 hours. That night, she walked into St. James Medical Center, a private clinic with air conditioning and scented hand sanitizers. She wanted answers, but she also wanted the visit to be quick and forgettable. The nurse who attended to her was kind, a round-faced woman with motherly eyes who took her vitals and asked all the usual questions. "You'll need to run some blood tests. It's standard with what you're describing," she said softly. Linda nodded, staring at her perfectly polished nails as the needle pierced her skin. "You can come back for the results in 3 days," the nurse said. But Linda never got the chance to wait. They called her the next day. "Miss Linda, please, we need you to come in earlier." Something about the way the receptionist said it made her chest tighten. She arrived the next morning, and everything felt off. The receptionist smiled too gently. The nurse avoided eye contact. She was led into a private consultation room and asked to sit. The doctor was a middle-aged man with glasses and a trimmed beard. He tapped on his laptop, adjusted his tie, then folded his hands on the desk. "I'll go straight to the point," he said. "Your HIV test came back positive." Silence. Not the loud kind, the kind that felt like sinking into cold water. Linda blinked slowly, her breath caught somewhere between her lungs and her throat. "No," she whispered. "I'm very sorry. But are you sure? Maybe it's a mistake. Can I do it again?" "You can, and we will run a confirmatory test. But from the indicators and symptoms, it's highly likely." The word positive echoed in her ears like a gunshot in an empty room. He said more things about treatment, counseling, managing it early, but she didn't hear most of it. Her world blurred. She walked out of the clinic numb, hands shaking. On her way home, Lagos continued as though nothing had changed. Hawkers still screamed prices. Danfo buses still insulted each other in traffic. Life moved on. But Linda's didn't. That night, she sat in her room with the lights off. Her phone buzzed with messages she didn't answer. The shadows on her wall danced like mockery. She pulled her knees to her chest and cried quietly, not just from fear, but from shame. The next few days confirmed everything. The second test came back positive. Her CD4 count was low but not yet critical. The doctor urged her to begin treatment immediately. She tried to carry on like before, put on makeup, wear her favorite wig, post a filtered photo on Instagram with the caption, "Strong girl vibes fired." But behind the screen, her life was unraveling. Word got out faster than she expected. Cynthia didn't tell anyone, but someone at the clinic did. Or maybe it was one of the other models at a shoot who overheard a conversation. It didn't matter. Calls stopped coming. Brands she had contracts with suddenly had creative redirection. Her landlord knocked on her door one night, drunk and aggressive. "People are saying you have HIV. Is that why so many men came to visit you before, eh?" She packed her things in silence the next day. There was no going back. She texted Cynthia only one sentence: "I can't stay here anymore." And then she disappeared. With her last savings, she bought a bus ticket heading north to a village she had never heard of before Ayatoro. No one there knew her name. No one there would judge her. Or so she thought. The road to Ayatoro was long and dusty, cutting through farmlands, scattered forests, and sleepy towns with rusty signboards. The farther the bus moved from the city, the more silent the air became, as though the earth itself had grown tired of Lago's noise and was finally catching its breath. Linda sat by the window, head resting against the glass, watching the landscape change. Every tree, every red-roofed hut, every woman pounding yam by the roadside reminded her of how far she was from everything she once knew. Her pink suitcase, the only thing she'd brought, rested between her legs. It held what remained of her old life: some clothes, a few beauty products, 2 bottles of ARV medication, and a secret she would never utter aloud. By the time the rickety bus crawled into Ayatoro's main square, the sun was leaning westward, painting the sky in orange and purple. The bus driver honked twice, not because there was traffic, but to announce arrival like a town crier. Linda stepped out slowly. Her long braids bounced gently against her back. She wore a modest green blouse and a black wrapper, but even in that, she looked like she had been carved from honey. Her skin, untouched by the harshness of the village sun, glowed. Her eyes scanned the surroundings: narrow roads, scattered wooden shops, children chasing a tire with a stick, and women carrying basins on their heads with grace. She was a stranger, and strangers didn't go unnoticed in Ayatoro. A group of teenage boys paused mid-game and stared, mouths slightly open. An older man watering his garden leaned on his hoe. Mama Chiamaka, who sold akara by the junction, whispered to the girl beside her, "Ah, see, fine girl, where she come from?" Linda walked steadily, ignoring the eyes. She was used to being watched. In Lagos, it had been a source of power. Here, it felt like walking into a room naked. She approached a woman sitting outside her house, peeling cassava. "Good evening, Ma," Linda said with a soft smile. "Please, I'm looking for a room to rent. A quiet place." The woman looked up, surprised to hear such polished city tone in a place where Pidgin and Yoruba reigned. "You be new person?" "Yes, Ma, I just moved here." The woman eyed her from head to toe, not with judgment, but with curiosity. "You too fine to come stay for this kind village," she said, chuckling. "But you get luck. That compound by the mango tree Mama Alake dey rent room there. Her children don't go Lagos. She dey lonely." Linda thanked her and walked in the direction pointed. The compound was simple 2 rooms facing each other with a large mango tree in the center that shaded the whole place. Chickens wandered freely. A baby goat was tied near the gate. Laundry flapped on a rope, like surrender flags in the breeze. Mama Alake was sitting on a stool, pressing a Nokia phone and muttering at the keypad. Her eyes looked up, wide and slightly cloudy with age. "Good evening, Ma," Linda greeted. "Evening, my daughter. Who be you?" "My name is Linda. I just arrived from Lagos. I'm looking for a room to rent. Someone said you might have one." The old woman studied her closely as though trying to see through her makeup in silence. You no get husband? No ma. Children? Number. The last girl way stay here. Nah so she talk. Before you know she don't carry bell for Baba Sunday peeking. Linda smiled faintly. I'm not here for that, ma. I just want peace and quiet. Mama Alake watched her for a long moment, then stood up slowly. Follow me. Make you come see the room. The room was small, one bed space wide, with a wooden window and a tiny curtain that had once been bright pink. The floor was cemented, the walls dull from age, but it was clean. How much is the rent, ma? 2,000 naira monthly. You go fetch your own water. The Tapte Junction. I'll take it. She paid for the first 3 months up front, and Mama Alake's eyes lit up. Most villagers paid in bits. You get cents, the old woman said, pocketing the cash. By the time Linda finished cleaning the room and unpacking her things, it was already night. She lit a candle, sat on the bed, and listened to the new sounds. Crickets, the distant hoot of an owl, the rustle of wind in dry leaves. It wasn't Lagos, but it was something she hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. The next morning, Linda walked to the village square to buy provisions. Her walk was cow,